Welcome to Beauty in Stories. This is a space where short, meaningful tales invite us to explore life's deep lessons and the beauty of emotions. Each story becomes a journey to listen, reflect, and rediscover values that are often overlooked in the busyness of life. Join us as we uncover inspiration, joy, and connection in these stories every day. And now, let's dive into today's story, Salted Coffee. A young man met a young woman at a party. She was beautiful and captivating, catching the attention of more than half the guests there. The young man, on the other hand, was rather ordinary, hardly noticed by anyone. Finally, as the party was winding down, he nervously asked her to have coffee with him. The young woman was surprised, but his invitation was so polite that she agreed. They sat together at a small table in the corner of the room. But the young man was so nervous that he couldn't think of anything to say, making the young woman feel a bit awkward as well. Then suddenly, he called out to the waiter, "Could I get some salt for my coffee, please?" Everyone nearby looked on in surprise, staring at the young man. His face turned red, but he stirred a spoonful of salt into his coffee and took a sip. Curious, the young woman asked, "Why do you drink your coffee like that?" "When I was young, I lived by the sea," he explained. "When I played by the shore, I could taste the saltiness of the water. Kind of like this salty coffee. So now, whenever I drink coffee with salt, it reminds me of my childhood and my hometown." The young woman was genuinely touched. She thought, a man who loves his hometown must be someone who values family and is responsible. She started to open up, sharing stories about her own hometown and family. Before they parted, they arranged to meet again. Over time, as they continued to meet, she discovered that he was indeed an ideal man, kind, caring, and in that cup of salted coffee, she had found her prince. The story ends happily, with the princess finding her prince and the two married, building a life together in happiness. Every morning, she prepared a cup of salted coffee for her husband. She knew he loved it just the way she made it. For 50 years since their wedding day, her husband always drank his salted coffee, thanking her for making it so delicious. After 50 years, he fell ill and passed away, leaving a letter for his wife.
To my beloved wife, please forgive me for the one lie I told you all these years. It was my only lie. The one about the salted coffee. Do you remember that first time I asked you out for coffee? I was so nervous, I meant to ask for sugar but accidentally said salt instead. I was too flustered to correct myself, so I went along with it, even making up a story about my childhood by the sea, just to keep talking to you. I thought about telling you the truth so many times, but I was afraid you'd never forgive me. So I promised myself that I'd never lie to you again, to make up for that one lie. Now that I'm gone, I can finally tell you the truth. I never liked salted coffee, but every morning, drinking the cup you made for me, I never regretted it. If I could do it all over again, I would. Just to have you by my side. And I'd drink salted coffee for the rest of my life.
As she finished reading the letter, it was soaked with her tears. If anyone were to ask her now, "What does salted coffee taste like?" she would surely reply, "It's very sweet." Reflection. Sometimes, love is found in the simplest of acts. For 50 years, this small gesture, A cup of salted coffee every morning became a quiet promise. A daily expression of devotion that held their lives together. True love doesn't always require grand declarations or dramatic moments. It lives in the silent sacrifices, in the patience to understand, and in the courage to put someone else's happiness before one's own. In the end, love has the power to turn even the saltiest of moments into something wonderfully sweet, teaching us that the most precious gifts are often the quiet, unspoken ones shared in everyday life. Thank you for joining Beauty in Stories for today's tale. I hope these moments have brought you meaningful insights and inspiration. If you enjoyed the content, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you won't miss any upcoming stories. See you in the next one.
Goodbye!